Call.
Absolutely, Deidre. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. The call's all yours.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I want to give it back to you, of course, because you are definitely the hostess with the mostest. Not only are you professional, but you make everybody feel so welcome and at home, hopping on every single Tuesday. You guys, I'm super excited because it's Tuesday, and that means that we get to share some knowledge, which will hopefully elevate those of us that are around us. So, on behalf of Frederick Hall and myself, welcome, welcome, welcome to Tuesday. I'm super excited to be here today to speak with you guys and talk to you about some mindset, cultivation of the mind, escalation of all kinds. Definitely, it starts in your head. So super, I can definitely relate to this. How many of you guys have been in situations where they all say it's in your head, it's in your head. It's just don't think about it, or it doesn't hurt, or you can do it. It always starts in your mind. If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can't. It's always going to be that way. Your mind is the most powerful muscle that you have on your body. And super excited to be able to talk to you guys a little bit about how to exercise that muscle. I know with me, it's hitting home very close because of my elbow. For those of you who don't know, I broke my elbow about 2 weeks ago now, maybe a week and a half ago now. And it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. You know how you hit your funny bone? Has anybody ever hit their funny bone, like just bumped it, and it's like, oh, it hurts so bad, right? Well, multiply that by 1,000. Imagine hitting your funny bone with a hammer. That's what it felt like to me. And it was terrible. I'm sure the ambulance drivers that day have never seen anybody scream as loud and for as long as I did. And they probably thought I was crazy. But with that being said, I broke my right elbow. So I'm right-handed, and this is my dominant arm. So I do every single thing with this arm. So I felt like, okay, it's a hindrance to me, right? Am I helping myself? Am I hindering? What's going on? So I actually had to start in my mind, making sure I understood, okay, Tony, it doesn't matter. You can do this, right? So I was talking to my sister, and I told my sister, I only have one arm. I can't do this and I can't do that. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. And she started laughing, and she said, well, at least you got one arm. There are people out there with no arms. So you're further along than they are. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I do have another arm. I'm going to try to make it work. So I have been working, trying to, get out of my head, make sure my mindset is in such a way to where I understand I can still do it, right? I can't write. I almost say I can't write. I can't use my right hand to write. So yes, now I've been writing like a third grader, right? Using my left hand. There's certain things that we take for granted that we're able to do every single day. And when those small, small, small things are taken away, it's almost like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And that's so relatable in our business. I was talking to Fred, and he says, you got to practice what you preach now. You tell people you can do it regardless. Don't make any excuses. You're going to be able to do this. So this has been a huge lesson for me, making my mindset work. I don't like having things attached to me. I'm claustrophobic. I hate it. I want to take this cast off. I'm used to being able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, right? So now I'm left to have to depend on other people. I'm not supposed to drive. I'm not supposed to do so many things. And so when you're thinking about your business, that kind of sets you in the same mindset to where when you are growing up or, starting your business, you have people in your family saying, you can't do that. That's not going to work. This is a scam. You shouldn't be doing that. Why are you on the phone? What are those calls about? All of those negative things that go into your mind and your head is what you have to learn how to get over, right? To bypass. And that's what I've been experiencing firsthand with this broken elbow. I've really had to exercise my mind and listen to all of the things I preach so that I can actually practice them. God was like, okay, Tony, you're telling all these people to do all these positive things and to, it's all in your head. So now you have to do exactly what you've been preaching all this time. So With that being said, yesterday I woke up and I had to thank him for breaking my elbow, right? I'm like, okay, God, I get it. You broke my elbow for a reason. I understand. This was a lesson that you had to give to me so that I can show somebody else, yes, you can do it. So I had to practice too, right? So now I'm practicing a lot, which fell right in line with our 12-week training. Because if your mind isn't in the right place, um, neither will be anything else that you have to do. So, I'm always sending emails. I'm always doing all that kind of stuff, giving you guys, reminders and this, that, and the other. I'm not able to do that because I won't say I can't. I hate that word, can't. I'm not able to do that so much because it takes me a little bit longer to do everything else. So all the extra stuff I've been giving to you guys, I'm not able to do. So maybe when my elbow is fixed and you guys start getting that stuff again, you'll appreciate it a little bit more, right? So I'm reaching out to say, okay, you guys, since I'm not able to do all of that, it's up to you to kind of take the reins and say, okay, Tony's not able to do this right now. So I'm going to make sure I tell my team to be on at 6:00. Okay, well, they're not able to do this. So I'm going to make sure I step up as a leader and do some other things that I can do, right? So this is a great opportunity for everybody to step up and take their rightful places, in the leadership and make sure they get done what needs to be done. So super cool. We're going to talk about the cultivation of your mind because it will escalate you, right? This broken elbow is helping me in more ways than you guys can actually imagine, 1,000% across the board. So I want to talk to you guys about that today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how you begin. When your like where your mind goes, let's start from scratch, from the beginning, right? Because we all have goals and we all want our goals to kind of come to us. I want a house. You want that house to come to you. I want a car. You want that car to gravitate to you. You want to be a magnet to every single thing out there in the universe that you want. You want to draw that stuff in. And so you have to begin in your mind. That's where you have to begin. Now, the education that surrounds what you're doing is important. For all of you on this phone right now, okay, you are home-based travel agents. What does that mean exactly? What does that mean? You're a home-based travel agent. If you see somebody in the elevator or in line at the supermarket or at work or at school or wherever, and they ask you, hey, what do you do? What do you do? It's very important to be educated on every level about what you do, because you never know who you're going to meet, who might need your services, or who might want to do what you do. So it's really important to be educated. And it starts with the education of who we are. How many of you guys on here can hop in the chat box and tell me when our company actually started? When do we start? When do we begin, you guys? Who on here knows when we began? Anybody know? What year did we start, you guys? What year did our company start? Okay, I see January 3rd. Okay, perfect. There are two answers that you could possibly have for this. Two answers, right? So, of course, 1952 is when Archer Travel began. That is our travel foundation. Yes, we are Evolution Travel, but we are also Archer Travel. And that's what a lot of people need to understand. We are Evolution Travel and we are Archer Travel. So 2 arms, right? Same body. 2 totally different things. We do 2 totally different things, but we all function together. My right arm and my left arm have two different purposes for me, but they're both attached to my body. So Archer Travel, of course, 1952, 67 years ago, right? In the business. And 3 years ago, of course, Evolution Travel sat down with Archer Travel and we merged. So you guys need to know that. There's a weird echo. You guys need to know that that's part of your education. Who we are, what we do, how we can do it. That's important. If you don't know that, if you don't know your foundation, it's easy for you to let your mind be altered by somebody else. If somebody comes up to you and says, oh, that's a scam. Oh, I used to do something like that and it didn't work. Because you have the education to say, no, you didn't do anything like this because it's impossible. We are the longest living home-based travel agency in the entire world. There's nobody around that's been around longer than 67 years. You guys need to know that stuff, right? So there's certain things about your company that you need to know. Need to have that education, because that knowledge will give you what you need to succeed and to talk to somebody about the business and to talk to yourself when you get that negative feedback. So it's super cool. I think I see my PIC on here, my partner in the climb, has hopped on to join us. So welcome, 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 Fred. How are you?
I am great. I'm great. How's everything going, Tony?
Everything's going good. We just got started a little bit. I know you came in right, perfect timing. Um,
Absolutely.
so cool. So, education is super important. I'm sure you agree, because you have to
Absolutely.
know what you know.
Education is key. You got to know about your business. I think that's one of the most major things that we try to teach everybody all the time, is just that the only reason we're able to answer all the questions and put ourselves in the position we're in today is because we know the business. We know, the ins and outs. We know where we came from. We know because, naturally, like I say all the time, Tony, I tell people there is no to this business. And the only reason I can absolutely say that is because I teach my leaders, and just as well as you do, the reasons why this makes total sense. So it's just one of those things that, we just naturally have to put ourselves in a position to understand that the more you educate yourself about what you have your hands on, the easier it is to overcome obstacles. And a lot of people don't get that. People think that they can just join the company and just, build a massive business and book up massive amounts of trips when you don't even know the logistics behind why we are what we are, and who we are and what we do and why we do what we do. I think that just brings more passion to the business. It brings a little bit more understanding of the business, and then at the last but not least, it allows you to understand why everything is in place the way it is, and that gives you a little bit more of a little bit more stability when you actually are interested in building your business. When you're trying to be successful in anything, guys, knowing what you're trying to do and what you want to do, and knowing the basics and the basics behind it allows you to be a little bit more strong and stern to get the job done. So education is key, man. You really hit the nail on that one.
Absolutely. And, that kind of falls right into our next, bullet point, which is cultivation, because the culture and how, the cultivation, you think of farming and getting your crops together so that you can grow and have a good harvest. And that's the same thing with evolution, because our culture is what helps us to, to be prepare for our harvest, right? We do things that other companies don't do. Our culture gives us this, a mindset to where we are a family. We're helping everybody. It doesn't matter whose team you're on. It doesn't matter who sponsors you. None of that matters, because all the resources are there, and we're all put in the same situation so that we can all benefit from, cultivating the company, putting in the training, putting in the time, doing all the help. All that stuff is growing the company in a way where we can actually be proud of the product that we produce when it's time to harvest. So really important, Fred. What do you think about that?
Well, naturally, I'm really just looking at everything that you have on the slide here, Tony, and it just, I just really think about, what makes our company great.
Right.
When you talk cultivation and being dedicated, the determination, the escalation, the elevation, congratulations. All of that really revolves around the stuff that we sit down and we have the locker room conversations about when
Mm-hmm.
we think about being dedicated, how people don't know the real power and sacrifice when it comes down to building your organization, and what it takes, that what you have to give up to gain,
Right.
things like that. Talking about the determination, like how determined are you to really meet your goals? Like who really wants to walk the stage before the convention, and
Right.
what's your timeline to do so? And what type of goals do you set yourself in front of you, and what are you willing to sacrifice to get to that point? How determined are you to get to that point? You talk about the escalation, like naturally we talk about people joining the company and literally saying, hey, I want to go platinum. You need to be like, but hey, listen, the Escalation of Force says you need to go executive first. You need to go, bronze first, and you need to go, silver, then gold. And what it takes to get to each level takes a little bit more of your dedication, your sacrifice. And, when you want to elevate the organization, period, like, when you're talking about people in the business and, how people don't congratulate people the way they should, and they don't, give the right notation about the business. And, when it comes down to our social media and how we express our business, it's really crazy how people don't understand the logarithm, what am I trying to say? For Facebook,
algorithm.
Algorithms. There we go. Hey,
Uh-huh.
listen, you don't got to be a superstar to understand the business. You just got to know the words, right?
Right.
But those things that we use to really grow our business, people don't understand those. When it comes down to really sharing your opportunity and expressing your business, how it takes a certain type of comment, or when people get on there and they say the wrong things, and those are things, the key things that people need to know. So all of those things right here, guys, Tony really just it's crazy how you look at these, and as a leader in the organization, we see these words so differently. And then, as we're training them to you guys, you have to understand that this is the mindset part, the understanding of being successful that changes the dynamics of your business. So all of these are very, very key points, Tony. We all have a different perspective, but you guys have to understand how does these words affect you, and where do how do you make these a form of something that help you build your goals? It's really, really deep.
Exactly. And I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, whether it's, booking or building. All of this is definitely ingredients for success, period. Bottom line, your goals will help your goals gravitate. So, I mean, and at the end of the day, like it says at the bottom, this might even cause a little bit of isolation when you have to set yourself apart from those who don't share the same mindset, who don't share the same goals, who are not going in the same direction. Those might be family members, it could be friends, it could be, whoever. But, just having the right mindset will help you get through that portion that might cause the isolation, because that could be hard. That could be really hard when you're going through those type of things. And if your mind isn't, cultivated enough, if you don't have enough education, if you aren't determined enough, then that can make or break your business, So it's really important for you guys to have that solid foundation and actually, use these things so that you can get to where you want to go 100%. And a lot of times you'll ask yourself, okay, well, we've done all that. And like you'll see on the next slide, it says, is this a help or a hindrance? Like, what is it? A lot of things can be classified as one or the other. You might think, having a team can be a help, when having a team can also be a hindrance if your team isn't actually pulling their own weight, right? So if you have a team of 10 people who are depending on you to remind them about the calls, to remind them, hey, did you put in your information for your tracking and get paid? Hey, did you remember to get on the webinar? Hey, did you remember? That can be a hindrance to your growth, whereas it can be a help if the team that you have has learned all of those steps we showed you before. If they understand the meaning of the education and the value of all those things, one thing can actually be a help or a hindrance. So you need to really understand if it's pulling you up or if it's pulling you down. And if it's something that's pulling you down, you have to figure out how to get that particular situation, your team or your husband or your children or whatever, to help elevate your situation. So it can be either or. You really have to kind of outline the things and the steps that are going on in your life so that you can figure out and sort them to understand, okay, is this helping me? is it hindering me, right? Like with my broken elbow, I had to understand, okay, is this really hindering me or is it helping me? In the beginning, of course, it was a hindrance because I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't do the things that I need to do. But it helped me so much because it gave me a chance to exercise my mind and to learn how to delegate a little more, to learn how to accept help, right? So sometimes if you just use your mind to really understand what's going on, you can turn a hindrance into a help. So it just really depends on how you're thinking about the situation. I think. Now, of course, we're just talking about, how thinking about something can be, bring a negative uh, perspective. It can also bring a positive perspective, right? The cup is half full or the cup is half empty. So, I mean, negativity can affect your business negatively, period, right? If I would have just been, woe is me, and I can't do this, and oh my goodness, I don't know what to do, I'm going to be out for 3 months, just forget it. That's a negative perspective, right? That can affect my business negatively. Not only that, but my negativity, of course, is going to boil over to other people, right? If I'm negative every time I talk to Fred, number one, he's not going to want to talk to me, right? Number two is going to, start to a domino effect, right? So you never want to really do that. You want to really be mindful and identify the things that surround you that can bring you down, the people, the places, all the situations, right? So like, what brings you down? What brings your business down? Take a second and put in the chat box some of the things that bring your business down, you guys. What are some of the things that you can identify right now that bring your business down? Think about this. Think about it. What brings your business down?
Hey, Tony, while they're going through the chat box, if you want to check that out and look at that, I just want to jump in real quick because that is something that really, really, really is very important to me because, like, we talk about it all the time, how a lot of people don't bring certain type of negativity my way because I'm not, a good ear for that.
Right.
I'm definitely not the one for it. I like to be positive because I understand how it affects our everyday movements. And I've seen very, very different situations for myself where I can be in the zone and something can throw me off my mojo, and then it's like I just lose it, and I can identify exactly what what did it. And I just know that, when it comes down to mentality, I am a firm believer 150% that everything that happens outside of your body, your movements, your mannerisms, and all those things are affected by what happens in your mind first. I love science. I understand how science works. And, if you got a whole billion different thought processes that are happening before you even can fathom that is happening, your body responds and reacts to that. And that's why vibes and everything, like you just spoke on, how you can change a person's mood by how your mood is affected. And, it's been plenty of times, Tony, you'll call and it takes one word for me to hear, like when you call, for you to say, something, and I'd be like, all right, what's wrong? What's happening? What's the deal? Who did it and what for? That just takes years of you just being around somebody and understanding, the vibes. And, and one thing, last but not least, I just want you guys to really, take heed to this and write this down and understand that you cannot mask how you really feel. You can't mask it. Like, half the time when when you really are excited about something, I don't care what you say. You can say a whole bunch of words that don't even make sense and people will be excited. You can't mask your true feelings. You can't mask how you feel about this company. When you talk to somebody, you be saying stuff like, hey, I just joined this travel thing and I'm just kind of really feeling it out. Stuff like that deters people from really being excited about it. When you join a company and then you actually trying to build your business and your vibe is really unsure, people know that. You know what I'm saying? People feel that. And when you're truly enthusiastic about your opportunity and you really are here to win, people, man, they eat that alive where they be like, oh my God, I don't know what vibe you're giving me, but you're really excited. So that makes me excited. And I just want to go and do what you do. And, when you're really negative, people people eat that. I'm talking about like for breakfast, people eat that and they wait for it. They look for it. They literally try to pry it out of you. How do you truly feel? Like I've seen cases, Tony, where people are like super duper negative towards you just to see how passionate you are about the business. And
Yeah.
naturally for me, I love it. I love when people come at me with the negativity because my passion cannot be faltered. Like my desire and my determination about this business and how I really genuinely feel comes out even more when you test that. And that's the passion you have for the business. Like I don't know if there's anybody on this, this green earth that can really approach Tony Ward in an airport to say anything negative about being an agent at X, Y, and Z. They're going to have a full debate. It's going to be very, very like phenomenal. And then they're going to turn into the most phenomenal post on Facebook of how fabulous her day turned out because she had a negative Nancy that tried to eat her alive on, the way to the plane where they actually got on the flight and paid for the flight and had a good time. And Tony came home to a check. So at the end of the day, guys, you have to understand, like your vibe and what you really truly feel about this business, it comes out of you. It oozes out of your pores, guys. It comes out of you so you don't even identify it. It's like half the time people be like, man, you really feeling this business. And you turn around and look at them like, where did you get that from? And it's something that it came out of you. Like you have no idea how people read that. And it's so crazy. Like when we used to say, like somebody just posted, I bleed blue. I promise you, there is nobody who can stand toe to toe in any room, in any conference, in any meeting place, in any public place that can battle us, like hands down. And we believe that. And is that belief right there allow us to be platinums and allow us to be 1 stars and 2 stars and allow us to be golds where you truly bleed blue. Like we bleed this business. Like, I mean, talk about when I say this is a part of an everyday incorporation of my 24/7, like it's literally something I cannot wake up and like, it's not a day in life in the last since 2000, what y'all say 2016 when we launched, but I'm gonna go as far back as November when we started talking about this on a napkin, guys. I bled blue since that day when we saw what we had the potential to do. And then all the way up to the episode of December 26th, I'm going into detail, guys, where we literally was launching and talking and moving and building this business all the way up to January 2nd, where we gave the public a chance to be a part of what we was being able to do. All the way up to the day, Tony went platinum, to the day I went gold, went platinum, to the day we flew to Hawaii and we were all platinums and 1 stars. And the day we came home and we've never missed a check less than $5,000 a month. Like those significant days make us bleed blue. And it's just something like that you have to understand. Like this is what we live. We live this business and we support it 150,000%. And we dare somebody to contest that. That's what makes us, like I'm telling you, like any leader on this line can take a 3-way like a champ, no matter what the outcome is, no matter if they join the business or they haggle the business or they absolutely are enthusiastic about the business. We eat that alive. And I'm telling you, like, that's what you guys don't take advantage of. You don't take advantage of the passion you're supposed to have and what can actually build you in this business.
Exactly. I mean, I agree 150% because that positivity and that, and just knowing that you know what you know can turn anybody around, so it's really nice. I don't know do you guys hear the echo that I hear? No? It's really nice to see when you have somebody in the business because that believes, and like Fred says, bleeds blue. I always said it's not when you become a part of evolution, is when evolution actually becomes a part of you that life begins to change. That you start to see, through the negativity, that you start to understand that, okay, I can do this. All those things you guys put in the thread, in the chat box that are negative, that's when you learn how to turn those negatives into positives, and you don't let the negativity take over your business. So it's really, key sometimes when you really start to figure out and understand what you have. It's remarkable, to know that you have a business that can actually change your life. Then that's when it's like, okay, it doesn't matter if I'm building a team of 1,000 or if I'm booking trips that are bringing me thousands. Either way it goes, Evolution Travel can help me. Or you could be saving thousands. You can have a team of 1,000. You could be making thousands on travel, or you could be saving thousands with your taxes. Either way, it's going to benefit you some kind of way. So once you figure out exactly what it is that you gravitate to, that's going to help you to be enthusiastic, excited, educated, and positive about this business, so people will see that blue glow. We're going to call it a blue glow. You got that Evo glow that nobody can penetrate, right? They can't get to you because you have that Evo glow that's protecting you from all of that negativity. And that's when your business will start to rise. I put on here float because there's always going to be something that helps you. You're not taking the stairs. In this case, you're taking the escalator because there's going to be something that helps you to get to the top. And that positive attitude is going to help you. You know how people say, oh, she's floating on cloud 9, or, anything like that. At the end of the day, that will help you get where you need to be. Let me see. And so that's basically how you can turn negativity into positivity so that you can get that. Now, I'm super excited, you guys, because you guys have been asking for homework, and you didn't have any for the last two weeks, right? We have bingo and all that other stuff, and I'll give you the update for that in a second. But let's go ahead and talk about this homework. Let's break this stuff down because this is really important. And this week's homework is probably going to be the most important homework that you're going to do in all of the 12-week training. So Fred, you want to go ahead and start that off?
Yeah, of course. The education, the homework is something that, we need to, I used to get in trouble in school, Tony, where people used to, or my mom used to think I never had homework. And, the thing was, I used to do the homework at school because I would get my classwork done so bad. But I do realize the essence of homework is to keep your mind geared, is to keep you moving, and allow you the quiet time at home to really think about X, Y, and Z. But one thing about it is just that, you have to learn your business, guys. You have to learn your business. So I love this homework right here. We kick it off by just saying, let's kick off the levels of your homework, guys. Education. You have to research who we are. If somebody was to ask any one of you guys a question at the convention, hey, you guys know where, the company was founded? Do you know how long we've been in existence? Do you know the timeline? Do you understand where did we come from? And, those type of things, guys, do your research. Let's make sure you guys do the education. Let's educate ourselves on your business. Understand our culture. Why are we successful? Why does the profit share pool, the residual pool, work better than any other comp plan that we know of? Why is there a 10%, sponsorship, in place when it comes down to the booking? Why are these things there? And how does that help us, in being the most proficient business? And I like to just, really hone in on a lot of these things, guys. If you listen to the things that Mr. McCovey says, or the founding members of the company, guys, express to you about where we've been before and what we know, what works and what doesn't. Some of you guys may not know, in the very beginning of the company, our comp plan was devised of a matrix. Like, nobody knows that, right? But we literally very quickly found out that profit sharing was a whole lot better than matrices, because we came from that. We knew what worked with that. We knew what didn't work. We knew how the company was more beneficial than the members. Like, we knew those type of things, guys. So you guys have to do your research to find out. What is your goal for the week? When it comes down to dedication, what are you dedicated to prove? What are you dedicated to accomplish? What will you do different from what you didn't accomplish before? When you start to do that, you start to identify, guys, what worked and what didn't. And when you can actually do that, you start to do different. You start to make better choices. And, some of you don't realize that you're repeating the steps that didn't work so many times. Like, you consistently keep repeating what never worked for you. And then you blame the company, or people blame, circumstances and situations of why they can't be successful, when they never did the research to really put it on paper to say, man, I really just did this 4 weeks in a row and it never worked the first week. So, what is your goal for the next week, and what will you do different? You want to pick up on that,
Yeah,
Tony?
exactly. Okay. So the next thing, your determination. We need you to write a plan so that you can have a fallback plan if something happens. So if blank happens, then I'll do whatever. So if somebody says this negative about my company, I will say whatever. Have a comeback, have a fallback. Be ready for the obstacles. So give yourself, look at what's been happening in your past so that you can plan better for your future. So you'll know how to get over those stumbling blocks, those hurdles, and stay determined, right, to your goal. By any means necessary, I got to get it done. No matter what happens, this is what I'm going to do, right? Your elevation. Where do I want to be for convention? We talked about that a little bit. Where do I want to be? What level am I going to? Like, really sit down and look at what you're doing. And if you say, I want to be gold for convention, then you need to look at, am I doing what it takes to be gold? Have I done all my homework for the 12-week program? Am I sending out all my stuff? Am I really serious about becoming gold? You have to think about it, you guys. It's a lot easier to get to silver than it is to get to gold. It's a lot easier to get to bronze than it is to get to silver. It's a lot easier to get to executive than it is to get to bronze, right? It's going to take a certain level of determination to get you to that elevation. So you need to make sure you understand exactly what it's going to take for you to get there. Where do you want to go? And then you need to start to escalate, right? You have until April 30th. That's it. That's the cutoff date. There are no exceptions. I don't care if you turn 52-star platinum. April 30th is the cutoff date for you to walk the stage for convention. So make sure if that's something you want to do. Now, you can walk the stage if you're a builder or a booker, if you're trying to get your IATAN card, if you're trying to become a gold consultant, if you're trying to become a platinum consultant, a 1-star, you have until April 30th. So not only do you need to implement these things, but you need to do it with a sense of urgency, you guys, okay? And figure out what's going to help me rise. So I'm not taking the stairs. I want to take the escalator. What can I do? Okay, I can be on the training calls. Okay, I can start hopping on the virtual calls. Okay, I can start having my own travel parties. What are you going to do to start your escalator to get you there? And then the final part of the homework is your acceptance speech. For those of you who believe, it's time to pretend like you have already achieved it and it will come. I want you to write your acceptance speech. If you are a gold consultant, you'll get 1 or 2 minutes to get up there and say thank you and tell your story. Write that speech right now. If you're a gold trying to get to platinum, you're going to get about 5 minutes to talk, right? Write that speech right now. Pretend like it has already happened and say who you're thanking. Say what happened. Put it all out there. An exercise like that will get you one step closer to your goal. It'll start to become real and feel real. And when your mind believes it, your body will achieve it. And that's what we're trying to do right here with this homework. So everybody should write their acceptance speech, period. I don't care if you're writing your speech for your IATAN card. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy that I made $5,000 in commission. This is something that you are going to speak into existence, you guys. So make sure this part of the homework is extremely important. So make sure you do it, okay? Now.
Yeah, that's perfect, Tony. I just wanted to touch on real quick before we close this call out, guys. And it's a quick story about how people lose the essence of being successful from early on in life. I noticed that, I always noticed that a lot of people look at some of the things that we say and we do, and we try to teach you guys to understand. But here's a key fact, guys. Write this down in your notes. It's not for you to understand until you do and execute, and you'll understand after, right? It's not for you to understand today. Just realize and understand that some of the stuff we do and we say, like, write that down and write out your acceptance speech. Like some people be like, I got other stuff to do. I got to do this, that, and other first. And but no, listen to us, guys. We're trying to show you the path to success, the right way for you to understand why you have to do half the things you do. And a lot of people don't get it. So a lot of people, they kind of put themselves in a bad situation because they try to automatically, pinpoint the steps. And when we tell you guys it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you cannot rewrite the alphabet.
We want to give it to you guys the best way. If I am telling you this, and this is how it works, guys, please believe and understand. It's not for you to understand today. It's for you to execute it and understand why later. Trust me, we've seen so many people not even be prepared to express their speech on stage when they don't even know. They didn't even realize if they were even going to get it. They didn't even pump themselves up to get to that point. It's just crazy when you realize when we tell you guys what to do first, you know what I'm saying, and then, follow the steps. But education, guys, cultivation, dedication, determination, elevation, escalation, and congratulations. All of those things are something, guys, if you're doing the homework, to follow the steps and actually get that done. But like, Lynn just said, you do A, you do B, you get C. So I hope you guys follow suit. I hope you guys don't think that this is so primitive to your success and your excellence in this business. I hope you don't think, guys, we went very elementary, but I promise you, here's the facts, guys. The ones who are successful in the very beginning, in the very essence of the groundbreaking information that we're giving you, those are the ones who will be tremendously successful in the harder parts later on in life. It starts at elementary, guys. It starts at preschool. It starts at kindergarten. It starts at the basics. Because if you can't master the basics, guys, you cannot master the very complex things that happen later. So I hope this training actually helped you guys out. Tony, I'll just pass it over to you to close the call.
Okay, you guys. So that is your homework. We'll be looking for it. Post it, video your speech, whatever. Just make sure you do it. Remember, this is for you. But the thing about it is, success leaves clues. So we'll definitely know if you've done it. You will get something, an email to show you guys how to upload different things from the homework. So look for that in the next couple of days. Bingo update. Yes, bingo is over. There were 304 winners for bingo. Somebody did win the blackout, so somebody is going on that cruise. We are verifying all the squares. Because people don't follow directions. So we're trying to make sure that that gets done. And as far as the raffle, Fred and I will post that with the bingo winners as well. So look for that in the next few days, you guys. I look forward to seeing all of your homework. I look forward to hearing all of your acceptance speeches. Congratulations in advance to all of the upcoming 100K ring wearers and the gold and platinum consultants. Congratulations, you guys. I know there are tons of you coming through the ranks, and I'm super excited because this is just the beginning of our future. So with that being said, on behalf of Frederick Howe and myself, we will see you at the bank and at the beach. This is Tony Ward signing off, and our webinar is officially over. Good night, everybody. Do your homework.